The original Star Wars trilogy, 1977 to 1983, reshaped the film industry and created a cultural phenomenon that resonates to this day. The cast, a collection of talented individuals, became global icons through their contributions to one of the most influential sagas in cinematic history. This retrospective delves into the lives of 20 key contributors, exploring their impact both within and beyond the Star Wars universe. 1. Mark Hamill, Luke Skywalker. Mark Hamill was just 25 years old when he brought Luke Skywalker to life in A New Hope 1977, forever embedding himself in pop culture. His portrayal of the farm boy-turned-Jedi became an instant classic. As of today, Hamill is 73 years old and continues to engage with fans, delighting them with his voice work, particularly his legendary portrayal of the Joker in Batman, the animated series. Notable fact: Hamill's cameo in The Last Jedi, 2017, was filmed secretly using a puppet, a nod to the iconic moment where Luke meditates in isolation. 2. Harrison Ford, Han Solo. Harrison Ford, at the age of 35 in A New Hope 1977, was already carving a name for himself in Hollywood, but became an international star thanks to his roguish and charismatic portrayal of Han Solo. Now 82 years old, Ford's legacy extends far beyond Star Wars. He's an enduring star known for his roles in Indiana Jones, Blade Runner, and The Fugitive. Notable fact: Ford famously improvised Han Solo's famous "I know" line during The Empire Strikes Back, 1980, which became one of the most iconic moments in film history. 3. Carrie Fisher, Princess Leia. At just 21 years old, Carrie Fisher stepped into the role of Princess Leia, a character who would redefine what it meant to be a strong female hero. Fisher's performance was powerful, combining intelligence, wit, and vulnerability. She passed away on December 27, 2016, at the age of 60, leaving behind a legacy that extends beyond acting to writing and mental health advocacy. Notable fact: Fisher kept the iconic metal bikini costume from Return of the Jedi, 1983, and humorously wore it at various public appearances, much to the delight of fans. 4. Billy D. Williams, Lando Calrissian. Billy D. Williams, who was 41 years old when he first portrayed the smooth-talking Lando Calrissian in The Empire Strikes Back, 1980, brought a level of suave charm to the role that turned Lando into one of the franchise's most beloved characters. Now 88 years old, Williams reprised his role in The Rise of Skywalker, 2019, reminding fans of his lasting influence in the Star Wars universe. Notable fact: Williams modeled Lando's voice on his grandfather, infusing the character with a unique sense of elegance and smoothness. 5. Anthony Daniels, C-3PO. At 31 years old, Anthony Daniels first donned the Golden Protocol droid C-3PO in A New Hope 1977, a role that would define his career. Now 79 years old, Daniels remains the only actor to appear in all 9 films of the Skywalker saga, solidifying his place as one of the most iconic characters in Star Wars history. Notable fact: Daniels has a unique talent. He can actually interpret the beeps and chirps of R2-D2, a skill that few are aware of outside the Star Wars fandom. 6. Kenny Baker, R2-D2. Standing at only 3 foot 8 inches, Kenny Baker, who was 42 years old when he first portrayed R2-D2 in A New Hope 1977, added a unique and human-like quality to the astromech droid, making him one of the most beloved characters in the series. Baker passed away on August 13, 2016, at the age of 81, but his contribution to Star Wars is still felt by fans around the world. Notable fact: initially Baker was cast as an Ewok before being chosen to bring R2-D2 to life, a role he would forever be associated with. 7. Peter Mayhew and Joonas Suotamo, Chewbacca. At the age of 35, Peter Mayhew's towering presence defined the role of Chewbacca in A New Hope 1977, creating one of the most iconic duos in cinematic history with Han Solo. Mayhew passed away on April 30, 2019, at the age of 74, but his legacy continues through Junius Suotamo, who took over the role. Suotamo, born on October 3, 1986, is currently 38 years old and continues the legacy of the beloved Wookiee. Notable fact: Mayhew's hospital door was humorously labeled Patient Chewbacca, reflecting his jovial and enduring spirit among fans and colleagues alike. The key antagonists. 8. David Prowse, Darth Vader, physical. David Prowse was 38 years old when he first donned the imposing black suit and mask of Darth Vader in A New Hope, 1977, forever establishing the villain as a cinematic icon. He passed away on November 28, 2020, at the age of 85. His towering physicality created one of the most memorable villains in film history. Notable fact: Prowse delivered his lines in a Shakespearean-style English while filming his scenes, completely unaware of the film's pivotal plot twist. 9. James Earl Jones, Darth Vader, voice. At 36 years old, James Earl Jones provided the iconic voice of Darth Vader in A New Hope, 1977, a performance that would become legendary. Jones passed away on September 9, 2024, at the age of 93. His deep, commanding voice became inseparable from the Dark Lord of the Sith, and despite his passing, his voice continues to resonate in various Star Wars media, solidifying his place as one of the most recognizable voices in film history. Notable fact: despite his childhood struggles with stuttering, Jones overcame this challenge to become one of the most celebrated and recognizable voices in film history. 10. Jeremy Bulloch, Boba Fett. Jeremy Bulloch was 34 years old when he first portrayed the enigmatic Boba Fett in The Empire Strikes Back, 1980, bringing a sense of mystery and mystique to the character. He passed away on December 17, 2020, at the age of 75, leaving behind an unforgettable legacy. Notable fact: Bulloch's brother was the first to appear as Boba Fett in the Star Wars Holiday Special, showcasing the close-knit family bond within the Star Wars universe. 11. Ian McDiarmid, Emperor Palpatine. Ian McDiarmid was 38 years old when he first portrayed the sinister Emperor Palpatine in The Empire Strikes Back, 1980, his transformative performance cementing Palpatine as one of cinema's greatest villains. Now 80 years old, McDiarmid has reprised the role in the sequel trilogy, ensuring the Emperor's influence remains paramount. Notable fact: McDiarmid was originally cast as a different politician, but was later chosen to play the Emperor after Lucas saw his intense portrayal. Supporting cast: 12. Alec Guinness, Obi-Wan Kenobi. Alec Guinness was 62 years old when he first portrayed Obi-Wan Kenobi in A New Hope, 1977, lending gravitas and wisdom to the wise Jedi Master. He passed away on August 5, 2000, at the age of 86. Guinness' portrayal of Obi-Wan remains one of the franchise's most revered performances. Notable fact: Guinness earned 2.25% of the film's gross profits as part of his contract, a rare but lucrative deal for the legendary actor. 13. Dennis Lawson, Wedge Antilles. Dennis Lawson was 29 years old when he played Wedge Antilles, the only Rebel pilot to survive all 3 original Star Wars films. Born on September 27, 1947, Lawson is currently 77 years old and is the uncle of Star Wars prequel actor Ewan McGregor. Notable fact: Lawson famously declined to return for The Force Awakens 2015, despite his character's significance. 14. Warwick Davis, Wicket the Ewok. Warwick Davis was just 11 years old when he was cast as Wicket the Ewok in Return of the Jedi, 1983, marking the beginning of his long career in fantasy and sci-fi films. Davis is now 55 years old and continues to appear in Star Wars-related media, including his role in Solo, A Star Wars Story, 2018. Notable fact: Davis was discovered through a casting call specifically for Return of the Jedi, launching his prolific career in Hollywood. 15. Sebastian Shaw, Anakin Skywalker. Sebastian Shaw, at 68 years old, played the redeemed Anakin Skywalker in Return of the Jedi, 1983, delivering one of the most emotional moments of the entire saga. Shaw passed away on December 23, 1994, at the age of 89, and his brief but significant appearance as Anakin's spirit remains etched in fans' memories. Notable fact: Shaw was unaware of the character's massive cultural significance when he was cast, making his involvement even more poignant. 16. George Lucas, creator. George Lucas was 33 years old when he created Star Wars and revolutionized filmmaking forever. His innovative approach to visual effects, storytelling, and franchise development transformed the movie industry, laying the groundwork for the modern blockbuster era. Now 80 years old, Lucas is recognized not only as the mind behind Star Wars, but also as the creator of Lucasfilm, a multimedia empire that has shaped the entertainment world for decades. Notable fact: before focusing on Star Wars, Lucas was slated to direct Apocalypse Now, but he chose to create his own cinematic universe instead, leading to the birth of Star Wars. 17. Irvin Kershner, Empire director. Irvin Kershner was 51 years old when he took the reins as the director of The Empire Strikes Back, 1980, elevating the Star Wars franchise to new heights. His vision crafted a darker, more complex sequel that would become the gold standard for all subsequent film sequels. Kershner passed away on November 29, 2010, at the age of 87, leaving behind a legacy as the director of one of the most critically acclaimed sequels in film history. Notable fact: Kershner was George Lucas' former professor at USC, which made his appointment as director of Empire a unique and personal collaboration. 18. Richard Marquand, JD director. Richard Marquand was 42 years old when he directed Return of the Jedi, 1983, the film that concluded the original trilogy. A relatively unknown director at the time, Marquand's work on Jedi became the pinnacle of his career, helping wrap up the saga's epic storyline with heart and triumph. Marquand passed away on September 4, 1987, at the age of 49. Notable fact: Marquand shared directorial duties with producer George Lucas, who was heavily involved in the creative process, giving the film the signature Star Wars touch while allowing Marquand to put his stamp on it. 19. John Williams, composer. John Williams was 45 years old when he composed the iconic Star Wars score for A New Hope, 1977. The legendary composer crafted some of the most memorable music in film history, including the Imperial March, which has become synonymous with the Star Wars franchise. Now 92 years old, Williams' sweeping scores have earned him an enduring place in Hollywood history, influencing composers worldwide. Notable fact: Williams composed the Imperial March in just 2 days, a feat that has since become one of the most recognizable pieces of music ever written for film. 20. Ralph McQuarrie, concept artist. Ralph McQuarrie was 37 years old when he first began working on the concept art for Star Wars, creating the visual identity that would define the franchise. His visionary designs, from the look of the ships and characters to the iconic landscapes of the galaxy far, far away, shaped the visual direction of the series. McQuarrie passed away on March 3, 2012, at the age of 82, leaving an indelible mark on the visual language of cinema. Notable fact: McQuarrie's first work for Star Wars was actually intended for a rejected Flash Gordon project, but George Lucas saw his potential and brought him on to help define the Star Wars universe. These creative leaders, Lucas, Kershner, Marquand, Williams, and McQuarrie, each played a crucial role in shaping Star Wars into the cultural and cinematic phenomenon it is today. Their innovations continue to influence filmmakers, musicians, and visual artists, and their legacy remains integral to the ongoing success and impact of the Star Wars saga. The original Star Wars trilogy brought together a group of talented actors, directors, and creators who changed the face of cinema. While some of these legendary figures have passed on, their contributions continue to influence generations of filmmakers and fans worldwide. The saga they helped create is as iconic today as it was when it first debuted, and their legacies live on through the timeless films they brought to life.